Hello, there, troopers, and welcome back to General Kenobi's Bunker. Thank you so much for joining me here on another episode of the Debrief. And today we are going to be talking about Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 13, Pabu. And thank you so much for everybody joining me here today. Sorry, this was a short notice for sure for this live stream, but I usually do this live stream on Fridays, but which was yesterday, but the day just got away from me. We did have we had a birthday party for one of my kids' friends, and we ended up getting back to the house just too late. I was just too tired, to be honest with you. So I hope that everybody is doing just fine on this Saturday morning, afternoon almost. But yeah, so hopefully everybody's doing okay. And I hope that you can join us. Also, if this is your first time here joining us in the channel, welcome. I hope that you like what you see. I hope that you stick around. And I hope that you swing by our main channel, General Kenobi's Bunker, where we like to do toy hunts, toy reviews, trailer reactions. We also like to go live every Wednesday on the high ground. So if Star Wars is your jam, and especially Star Wars toys and collectibles, please make sure that you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you know when we drop a new video, when we're going live, all that kind of good stuff. So welcome, and again, I hope you're having a really good Saturday. Let me check in here with the chat. LeBron Fed, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for joining. You didn't? Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. YouTube doesn't like me sometimes, or most of the time. Um, I'm glad you're doing good, man. I hope that you are having a very good weekend. Um, Hello there. Thank you for joining. So, uh, again, if this is your first time here on the Debrief, this is the show where we focus solely on Bad Batch episode that dropped this week. And in this case, it's Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 13. And yeah, we are running out of episodes, guys. This season is about to wrap, okay? So we only got, I believe, 3 more episodes left after this one. So I'm actually really curious to see how they spent those episodes. I think overall the season has been lukewarm, to say the least. Um, I don't think that we've had, all of the excitement or all of the story and world building that we were expecting or hoping for. And it's a little bit of a shame because the highs have been really high, but the filler episodes are just sort of killing the pacing on this one. And this episode is a little bit different, I think, and I will elaborate on that after this. So the format for here for the debrief is we go through the episode very fast. We don't watch the whole thing because we don't want to get shut down by the mouse. And afterwards, we'll talk about a little bit of what we saw, what we thought we saw, and what we think it means for the overall story. So let me cue up here the episode real quick, and we can go ahead and get started on this. All right. So this episode again is called Pabu, and we come into Sid's cantina. Right. We've seen it 1,000 times, but this time we focus a little bit more on a specific table, and we see Omega, um, and they're basically brokering a deal with some I don't know, some shady individuals that basically have their faces covered with some mask. These guys here, and so they're talking about selling that artifact, which looks like a sculpt of a tree, actually. And as usual, uh, the back and forth of if it's real, all of that stuff. What, pay me, etc., etc. They actually try to poison her, and hilarity ensues, of course. And basically they everything breaks down into a shootout with some of the clones, and they grab the artifact. They get into the Havoc Marauder, and sorry, I have to correct here myself. I said Sid's cantina. It's not Sid's cantina. Okay, it's just another cantina at another planet. Sorry, that's my bad. It's just I'm so used to it by now. But anyway, so they're basically all running into the Havoc Marauder, and then they are, in hyperspace with just escaping, right? Not no real route. And so the question arises as to, okay, so I would think that Omega, might need um, a little bit of a different, upbringing um, than just being around soldiers, right? So basically, she's posing the questions like, hey, what's your what's your plan here for Omega? Sophie is asking, um, excuse me. You've taught her to be a soldier basically, but she's not really being a kid, and so they're like, okay, well, we don't really got anywhere else to go, and then they get a transmission mid uh, while in hyperspace, and lo and behold, it's Sid, and Sid's like, you know what? I haven't heard from you guys in like 20 rotations or so. So what's going on? Give me the cold shoulder. Um, I just want to let you know that remember, we know a lot about each other, right? So you don't want the information that I got on you to get out, and vice versa. So don't just ghost me, okay? And Fee asks like, okay, well, what is your plan? To which Hunter says, yeah, this is kind of our plan. We just keep running until hopefully, she doesn't look for us. She warns them, it's like, hey, Sid is okay, as an ally, but you don't want to cross her. So, like, seriously, like, you guys need a plan. Like, you can't just keep running around in the ship, like, everywhere through the galaxy. And so she basically suggests that they go to her special place, which is called Pabu. And Pabu is, I would say, like the space Hawaii type of thing, and we'll see more of that here. But if you notice, another really cool set. So it's basically an island nation, um, surrounded by water, obviously, but you see the tiers of the population. So if you notice, all of those, white specks are actually houses. So they basically colonized um, the entire island, right? And it goes up to the top. So they get there, and they land, and Fee, explains welcome to Pub, all of that stuff. She actually has, and I thought this was kind of cool actually. So that big structure all the way to the top is like a vault, like a repository of her treasures, right? Or treasures that she has acquired or liberated, as she likes to say. But I was like, okay, one cool thing that I actually enjoyed about Fee, she says this. She's like, um, Tech asks her the shootout we just had about this, like, tree sculpture, like that thing is like almost worthless, like it's worth very little money. And she's like, yeah, it's worth very little money, but what I am doing is trying to liberate artifacts that are related to the culture of some of these people. So the island is basically inhabited um by people that lost their homes or their runaways, that kind of thing. And so I thought it was pretty cool that she's actually trying to piece together some of their culture back. Obviously, a lot of them lost their homes during the war, and so they found some refuge here in Pabu. So I thought that was a good, like, development character for Fee. Um, we get introduced to the mayor of Pabu and to his daughter, right, who just happens to be another female around the age of Omega. And of course, they start hitting it off, because again, Omega is basically, being raised on her own, not around any other kids. So the tour kind of begins. Obviously, they start playing together, two kids. The mayor is giving the tour to Hunter and saying, you know what, we started up on the top, and we sort of have to keep growing because more and more refugees keep showing up, more and more people, things like that. And so you see some of the houses, most of the modest houses, but the people seem very, very happy here, in this village or in this city. And you get you do really do get a feeling of like, yeah, like a Pacific Islander type of thing. Um, and of course, the Bad Batch is starting to know or to notice that Omega is actually having a good time. That they haven't seen her this happy in a while. So of course they start, thinking about hanging out there a little bit more. Hunter goes basically asks the mayor saying, "Hey, would you guys mind if we hang out here, for a little bit? We're pretty tired. We could definitely use a spot to lay low." And he's like, "Of course, you guys are all welcome." It's like, you know, uh, this is what this place is for refugees, basically. But Hunter does bring up the questions like, "Hey, aren't you guys afraid of the Empire? Aren't you guys afraid that they're just gonna show up and take everything?" And the mayor says, "You know what? We have almost no resources. We have almost like no interest, right, for the Empire to be here. But if they do show up, we'll deal with it." So very chilled, of course, very how can I say it? Very tranquil, very easygoing. And I like this other detail here because they were actually eating sushi, like Earthling sushi. Like it was kind of weird to see it like an actual dish portrayed, on screen. So yeah, they're having a feast. The again, the if you notice here on the plates, it's basically like pieces of sashimi and some rolls and stuff, but it's straight up sushi. And so the girl tells Omega that she actually has a boat of her own, and if she would like to go out to the water to watch the sunset. And Hunter says, "Yeah, go ahead, guys. Like, have fun, right?" And so the two girls jump onto the little boat and they go out to the sea again to seemingly, uh, to go watch the sunset. And they're talking, and she's saying that if she's asking Omega if she ever gets lonely, if it gets too hard, just being away from home. Omega says, "Well, I don't really have a home anymore. Like my home is with these guys in the ship." And she's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Yeah, well, my planet was also covered by water like this one, but it was basically my home was destroyed, and I haven't really had a home for a while." And of course, the girl says, "Well, you should guys, just stay with us, right?" But here we go. So we start introducing the problem of this episode, and I mean the problem to solve. So Tech, so while they're having dinner, there's a little bit of a tremor, and then a follow up tremor that gets even stronger. So Tech starts taking some data, and he basically says to everybody that there is a sea rise coming, and what that is basically a tsunami, right? What we know as a tsunami. And so, of course, they start, you know, panicking, and they get the mayor is telling the Bad Batch to basically go ahead and warn as many people as they can, um, and that they need to evacuate the lower portion of the city because, of course, the water is going to hit there. The problem is that the girls are still out on the sea on their own, and so the Bad Batch has to scramble to both get the people out from the lower levels, get them up to the top, and Hunter has to go running through the Havoc Marauder to basically go pick up Omega and the other kid. So you got all those things going on. So like it's basically chaos. Um, Wrecker is helping to move people that cannot move themselves or not fast enough. Omega and the girl are stranded in the sea, which has now they're just at the seabed because the water has recessed like so much that that the how do you call it, that the ground they can basically walk on, right? Like the water is being recessed from the island. They're running away from the wave, from the giant wave that's coming. um and Hunter tells them, I'm on my way, so don't worry. The people running around, of course, trying to get him up to the sort of like castle or keep that's on the top of the island. Fee and Tech work to release some of the evacuation ladders, right, to the people so they can climb it faster. Hunter, of course, gets to the ship, flies out. The wave is coming, and it starts basically destroying or annihilating the bottom levels, right, of Pabu. Everybody starts getting up. Of course, they're all watching, very scared to see when the water is gonna hit the island. Of course, it basically destroys everything that's on the lower levels. And To the surprise of no one, Hunter gets there and picks up, both girls. They're safe. They fly back, and then the water starts receding after crashing into the island. And they're like, okay, well, it's gonna be tough, right? But we can rebuild. We didn't lose anybody thanks to the help of the clones, and Fee is like, see, you guys can do some good here. It's good for Omega. Like, you guys should, definitely try to stick around. Um, and so Hunter basically tells the mayor again, it's like, hey, it's like, did you guys mind if we actually do stay? And the mayor is like, no, like, as you can see, we got a lot of work to do, so we could use all the help we can get. Um, and so that's basically the decision being made, that that they're gonna stick around. So we get a shot of Pabu, how it is. If you notice, like outside of this giant wall here, that's where everything else was destroyed down on the island. And so that's it. That is basically the episode, guys. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking another filler episode, right? And that's kind of how I felt about it too when I was watching it. But I don't know. I think there's a little bit more to it this time. Let me catch up here with the chat real quick. We got LeBron says the music on the island sounds like that song from Beauty and the Beast where Belle walks around the town. Yeah, you're actually right. The island reminds me of the Turtle Island from Power Rangers. Oh, nice. Good job. Luis, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you, man. Everybody saying hi. Did anyone else notice the Beauty and the Beast music? No, well, now that you mention it, I think I do. I need to go back and watch it and rewatch, the Beauty of the Beast in that piece, because I don't remember exactly. But yeah, you're probably right. Something did sound familiar in there. LeBron says the sushi looks good. Have you ever read the cookbook for Galaxy? No, I have not actually. Uh, I just thought it was a little bit weird that we got like actual sushi on screen, and it wasn't just a couple of frames. Like, they actually the sushi was on the spot, like, quite a bit. So I thought it was interesting. I kind of like that, to be honest. Um, I kind of like that they're actually using some of that stuff like from the real world. It has been yeah, I bet. Uh, so that is the episode, Pabu. And again, very filler like, but I actually think it's not a filler per se. I think they just kind of needed a device to show the audience that, hey, you know what? These guys are not going to be running around forever, right? They cannot just keep, this little girl with them on a spaceship going through the entire galaxy, running away from basically like everybody, right? Which they had been doing that on season one, and then they landed with Sid, and they sort of had an arrangement, quote unquote, and that's kind of how they had a base of operations. But now, after the episodes where they get their ship hijacked, right? It seems like they're sort of breaking ties with Sid, which I like, because I think it's about time. Actually, I think it's pretty late into the game for them to do that. I I had a theory at the beginning of this season, that Sid was actually going to be the bad guy for them. That Sid, she was going to turn on them and sell them out to the Empire. I kind of feel like that still could happen. I'm not entirely sure if they're gonna go that route, but I kind of feel there's been enough comments about Sid, about how you don't want to become her enemy, that I think they're trying to move towards that. So this episode again, I like, because it shows that they are really, really thinking about settling down, right? And more than that, I actually think they might leave Omega there. So the clones, they're soldiers, right? That's all they've known their entire lives. So it's gonna be very hard for them to settle down. But in this episode, they showed how they can do good, right? Using some of their abilities, some of their strengths, and they basically got to help all the people, right? If it wasn't for tech, they would not have known in time about the tsunami that was coming. They did have a warning system, but it was triggered after tech had told them, hey, this is coming. So they gained, a few precious minutes there. Also, for example, Wrecker was basically just carrying people up the ladders and stuff like that. Again, they would not have been able to do so. The little girl would not have been saved if they didn't have the ship there. Things like that. So I think they were trying to show us that that the characters are witnessing what they can do without having to fight, necessarily. So I think they're noticing that they can do good, right, with the people, and they can actually help out. And they're also noticing that hey, Omega is a kid, like she needs other kids. She needs to let loose. She needs to, you know, go out and explore. She needs to try out different foods, all of that stuff. Not just the stuff that we have here on the ship, and not just the limited experience that we can give her, which is basically how to be a soldier, right? She knows how to fight pretty good now. She knows how to think, tactically, but that's it, right? I mean, she doesn't know anything about playing. She doesn't know anything about the world itself or the galaxy. So I thought actually that was a cool way, and I thought Fee was a good device to deliver that message to the Bad Batch. So yeah, even though I would say overall, yes, we could qualify this one as another filler. I I almost don't want to, because I kind of felt this one did move the characters in the right direction. This one at least, furthered the story a little bit and the character development for them. Um, I don't know. I kind of like this one. I kind of like this one again, just showing what it could be for them, right? I'm sure it's not gonna work out in Pabu. I don't think they're gonna just, stay there and live happily ever after. That's not what these guys, uh, have in store for them. But it's kind of nice to see that they're actually thinking about it, right? Like they're like, you know what, maybe it's not so bad, if we just settle down, especially for Omega's sake. But yeah, let me catch up here again with the chat. It says that the alien was going to be alive. Yeah, right. That would have been pretty cool. Like if it was what was it, a lion turtle, like the ones on Avatar that move around. Um, Sprite and Coke, Sprite and Coke and Diet Coke is canon. Yeah, thanks to Galaxy's Edge. You're right. Beef and chicken ramen too, Nerf nuggets and tip to noodle soup. Yeah, there you go. I'm pretty sure those could show up, in one of these shows at any point. LeBron says, I agree, it wasn't filler, right? Like again, if you look at it, yeah, there wasn't a huge lot of action, right? There was no real like fighting, like they didn't really shoot anybody except those pirates at the beginning, but they kind of had it coming. Um, so yeah, there wasn't a whole ton of action, but like I said, I kind of felt that it was good, that it was a good episode in terms of the story, showing the Bad Batch what they could have. Again, I don't think they're gonna stay here and be happy forever. I just feel that it was good to show them, and therefore us, the audience, what could be their lives, right? Again, I don't think it's gonna work out for them at all. Uh, but who knows? Maybe they abandon Omega there, right? And they're like, you know what? Uh, we've taught you everything we need to teach you, or that we can teach you. You're happier here, so we're just gonna leave you here, right? Or maybe they'll just try, right, to do so. Also, I was actually pretty curious about that vault, the one that Fee was putting, things inside, like her treasures. I don't know. I sort of got Jedi vibes off of it, like at least ancient construction vibes, So I kind of want to see what's inside. I was actually pretty curious about that, and I was hoping that they would show the insights, because I was like, maybe she's got like Jedi or Sith, artifacts, or some of the ancients, there, some of their artifacts. So we'll see. I think there's more to it than just that. Maybe next episode the Empire shows up, and they try to steal, all her stuff that's in there. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I kind of felt good with this episode. I kind of did enjoy it. Um, LeBron agrees and says, in Heir to the Jedi, you found out Luke loves ramen. You're right. Forgotten about that. Very right. So LeBron gives it an 8.5 out of 10 for this episode. Very cool, man. Very cool. You know what? I'm actually kind of inclined to agree. I think for me, it's gonna be about an 8. And again, this is mostly because of the how they showed us that some of these characters are thinking about evolving. Right? Again, they cannot keep up what they've been doing for almost 2 seasons now. But the only reason why I don't give it maybe a little bit higher score is because I feel that this is long time coming. I kind of feel like this was overdue, and with it being so close to the end of the season, right? We only got 3 more episodes, two of which are the season finale. So we really only got one more episode. I don't know if they're gonna close out this arc. And if they do, I kind of feel like they're wasting, episodes this late in the game or this late into the season. So I'm not entirely sure if that's a good idea. But again, this episode as a standalone, I actually kind of did like. You know, LeBron says, "My guess is Sid will send the Empire there to get the Bad Batch." Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking the Empire shows up in one way or another. Like I said, either sent by Sid, like you said, or because of the contents of the vault for Fee's vault. So I'm wondering what she's got in there. I'm actually pretty curious. Maybe the vault is setting up something in Jedi. So yeah, now that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. um yeah, it'd be interesting to see if she's got ancient devices or documents or even a couple of lightsabers, or holocrons in there. That'd be pretty cool. I did like that we finally see a little bit more aliens in that world. In Excuse me, in the island, it wasn't just humans, right? We did get to see a couple of Nemodians, I believe, and like a Rhodian maybe. But anyway, so the point is that they weren't 100% human, which again, I kind of feel like we've been lacking that, in most of our Star Wars shows. Mandalorian has been doing good. Bad Batch is usually good with that, but lately, they've been focusing a lot on humans. Obviously, because of the Empire, I get that, but I'm just saying it was a nice change of pace to see a few aliens here and there again. Um, so yeah, I think that's about all I got to say. Again, we only got 3 more episodes in this season, so what do you guys think? Was this a good season? I think they're gonna have to do a bang up job of that season finale for my overall score of the season to go up. Again, the highs are really high, but the lows are kind of like very repetitive, and they're not bad episodes per se, like this one. It's just more of the same. Really gets you tired, regardless of how good or how bad it looks or how good or bad the story is. The end result is kind of the same. You walk away, feeling like you didn't advance the story at all. And once again, that is not the case with this one, in my opinion. Now, I'm not gonna say this is a must absolutely watch episode. If you want to skip it, that's up to you. I understand, but I do think it actually plays well with the overall theme of the story. So, guys, let me know down in the comments what do you guys think if you're having a rewatch on this. I appreciate everyone joining here today. Again, sorry for the really, really short notice, but I just wanted to cover this episode before, more time would pass by. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate you, LeBron. Thank you for being here. LeBron says, no slender puppy. Yeah, no Silo Beast. That's right. Could always use more Silo Beast. I agree. I'm thinking that's what we're going to see at the season finale. I'm thinking, but we'll see. There's a few good storylines that are being developed that I would like to see for this season finale. But yeah, we only got 3 more episodes, guys. So go watch Bad Batch, go catch up. Or are you actually gonna wait until um, the season ends and then just binge watch the whole thing, or skip some episodes? Let me know. JD636, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. You all have a good weekend. And again, guys, I appreciate everybody joining here. Thank you so much uh, for joining me on such short notice. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for checking out my opinions on Bad Batch. If you haven't, we have been reviewing all of the episodes, so you can go back to the other debrief episodes and catch up on those. Once again, if you haven't, please go check out the main channel, General Economics Bunker. We also have a second channel now called General Economics Bunker en Español, where we also like to do a lot of toy hunting, and we are reviewing Mandalorian season 3 in Spanish. So if that's kind of your jam, please go check us out there. Again, General Kenobi's Bunker en Español. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much. You'll have an awesome weekend. Go watch some Mando. Go watch some Bad Batch. And I'll catch you on the next one.